Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Slcmof. I'm back again with another video. I just saw Batman v Superman for a second time, and oh man, I love that movie. I cannot just get over it. I think it's just phenomenal in just about every way. I disagree wholeheartedly with 99% of the complaints with the movie from reviewers and other fans that I've seen. So, I don't know, like, I've seen it twice now, and I'll see it more, but I just disagree with a lot of the people that complain about it. Another thing I disagree with is the way that Batman was handled in the movie. In fact, honestly, if we're being honest here, I was watching the movie for a second time. I was looking for things to complain about. And yeah, if you look far enough, I mean, you can look for things to complain about, but people complain about Lex Luthor. I thought he was great. I thought that he was a phenomenal villain, actually. And, you know, again, people complain about Doomsday being too CGI. I can see that. I can see that, okay? But here's the thing. Here's my biggest problem with Batman v Superman. The way they handled Batman is inconsistent with the character's modern interpretation, and it proves to me, if anything, and if you've seen Zack Snyder's recent statement, I'll put it on the screen, about why he has Batman kill. What he says is that Batman doesn't actually murder in the movie, it's manslaughter. And the reason that it is manslaughter is because, this is so funny, because basically, he, uses the Batwing, for example, and the Batwing blows up the truck. And then the truck blows up the people, so therefore Batman didn't actually murder the people, it was manslaughter. I'm not joking. I will link it in the description. That's exactly what he said. He said, it's like he did it proxy, is the word that he used. He used it proxy. So, you blow up the truck that they're in with the minigun on the Batmobile, in the Batmobile chase, and then the guys blow up, and then Batman didn't kill them. Or the guy has a grenade, and Batman throws him into a room and locks the door in the warehouse scene, basically, and then he dies, and Batman didn't kill him. Okay, I mean, the grenade thing I can kind of understand, but even then, if we're dealing with something like the Arkham games, he would, if there was a grenade, then he would get it out of his and, the bad guy's range and make sure nobody dies, because, of course, Batman doesn't kill in the Arkham games, never has, and he never would have. And nor does he kill in 90% plus of the canon stories. Keep in mind, The Dark Knight Returns, which he references in this interview, is not a canon book. It's not canon. And it's written by Frank Miller, who, quite frankly, if you know anything about him, is a drug addict. I'm just being 100% honest here. Okay, so The Dark Knight Returns, I think, is the most overrated Bat book, just period. I don't understand what people like so much about it. I mean, it's fine. I understand. But this character, this Batman, is, in my view, morally and ethically weak. People have pointed out, well, at this point, Jason Todd's already died. And here's the thing, you cannot introduce Red Hood, who would have been awesome to see in the Batman solo movie. You cannot introduce Joker into the Batman solo movie. You cannot do it. It's impossible. Because Batman is a killer himself. So the difference, if you've seen Under the Red Hood, it's the best Batman animated movie. It's phenomenal. If you see a movie, or play a game like Batman Arkham Knight. The Arkham Knight, as many of you know, is the Red Hood, where they both have the same goals. A little bit less Arkham Knight, more so Under the Red Hood is what I'm about to mention in the next 30 seconds. But both are, perfectly valid within this explanation. And that is, in Under the Red Hood, we see that they both want to do the same thing. Batman wants to stop crime. Jason Todd wants to stop crime. Jason Todd wants to do it lethally, and Batman wants to do it non-lethally. He wants to do it by the book, the way that Batman always does it, really. Besides maybe in 1939, when the character was first originated. And people always bring that garbage up. Oh, he's killed in the comics before. Yes, he has. And that's exactly Zack Snyder's explanation as to why he had Batman kill in the movie. He said, well, he's killed before in the comics, so we can have him kill in the movie. I mean, yeah, that's valid. I'm just saying I disagree with that. I'm not saying he can't do it, because he did. And he clearly, wanted to do that. I think that his explanation is lame, and he should have just backed up, like, yeah, we have Batman murder in the movie. That was my decision. He should have just backed it up rather than what he did. Anyway, but here's the thing. In the Batman solo movie, I explained in my other video that he probably is not a killer anymore because of his Men Are Still Good, epiphany speech, where he talks about how he's restored faith in humanity and everything like that. The way I interpreted it. But either way, you cannot have Batman having an ideological clash with somebody who uses it, that's their entire conflict. Literally every single good Joker story is about a conflict of Batman's heart, which wants to kill the Joker, and his self-restraint, his moral and ethical self-restraint, because he knows, as he says in Under the Red Hood, the animated movie, if he did, he could never get out of it. If he killed once, he would maybe kill more and more, and he doesn't want to do that. Because he, as an 8-year-old boy, knows what it's like to have taken from him, and he doesn't want that to happen to anybody else. So This is why he's non-lethal. Batman is a non-lethal character from the ground up. If you look at his origin, again, as I talked about, his origin shapes his view on life, the fragility of life. More so, his entire utility belt is non-lethal. So when you have a Batman that has no problem blowing people up with the Batwing, that has no people pulling out a minigun on the Batmobile and just lighting people up, 30 guys, just absolutely demolishing them. You know, those trucks that they were in, those Jeeps that they were in, that they had those Jeep commercials for, literally got incinerated by the Batmobile. Like, literally, they turned into fire. I mean, gone. Killed those guys. Murdered them. Just think about, I can't even think. Think about how dumbass of a statement Zack Snyder does. So basically, think about this. Like, there's a guy parked in front of your house, right? And he's in a car. He's just sitting there reading a book. And you pull out a bazooka and you blow the car up. What he's saying is that you didn't murder the guy because the car actually killed him. It's just like a dumbass statement. Zack Snyder is a fucking... That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. He's a pretty smart guy. Phenomenal director. I love both of the movies I've seen from him, Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, but I think he's a dumbass, to be honest with you. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay. Man, he's not stupid, you know. That was just a dumbass statement. I think he realized that. I bet he went back and read that and was like, wow, that makes no sense. Okay, anyway. But I hope you guys see what I'm saying. You cannot have an ideological clash between Batman and the Joker, or Batman and the Red Hood, because their entire conflict revolves around their ideological differences. Whereas, well, Joker's just a bad guy, but nonetheless, you know, Batman, he struggles with not killing the Joker, because Joker has killed Jason Todd. He's killed crippled Barbara Gordon. All of these things make him really, really hate him. He's killed innocents before. But basically every Joker story, every good Joker story is about his struggle with restraint from killing the Joker. And we see at the end of Batman Arkham City, which is, in my opinion, the definitive Batman, at least the way I see it. And Batman chooses that, or reminds the Joker that he would have even saved him if he had the opportunity to, if Joker didn't knock the cure out of his hand. So this is the Batman that I know, okay? The Batman here just blows people up for no reason. And again, the Batman solo movie cannot have the Joker. It cannot have the Red Hood. And even though he has kind of redeemed his moral code, most likely it does not matter because he's been a killer before. So he would be a hypocrite if he were like, Jason Todd, you can't be killing. We got to play this by the book. It's like, well, you're a killer, dude. You killed 30 people in one day in Batman v Superman. Who are you to tell? So, and they didn't even have a conversation. Batman and Alfred didn't even have a conversation like, we have to kill Alfred. Yes, it's our duty or whatever. And it was just like, yeah, it was like agreed between them. Alfred knew and Batman knew that they were killers. They even said in the movie that they're villains. Batman is not a villain. He's an anti-hero. But in this interpretation, he is a villain. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying the Batman I know is an anti-hero, not a villain. And even in some cases, more of a hero than an anti-hero. But usually an anti-hero. This one, he's just a straight-up villain, and you have to try really hard to have me cheering against Batman, but that is exactly what Snyder did, because his motives were incredibly skewed in the movie. Not skewed like unclear, skewed in the sense I didn't agree with them, why he wanted to kill Superman. And yes, we do have an omniscient point of view, and we know that Superman's not the bad guy that Batman could have known. They set it up very well. I mean, when Bruce Wayne's holding that little girl and he's looking into the sky, it's very powerful, and I loved when they were taking this character. Like, that moment was fucking awesome. And then the opening 5 minutes of this movie is probably the best opening to any movie I've ever seen. When he kind of emerges from the well and it's so good. It's so good. The music and everything. It's amazing. I love the way they were taking it. It was just so. I loved Bruce Wayne and the party scene, and then it's just the Batmobile chase, and he just fucking blows people up. It's like, why? Why did you squander this character? And again, he takes inspiration from The Dark Knight Returns, which is written by a drug addict and is not canon and is quite frankly an obscurity in a plethora of Bat stories that we all know and love, from the Arkham games all the way to all the comics, majority of which he does not kill. And if he does, it's by accident, or it's a big deal if he kills one person. Here it's just, nope, I'm just going to light people up, boom, dead. So that's my take. That's the biggest problem with Batman v Superman. It is not, what most people are saying to me, because I love all the other things that people are complaining about, and I don't want the focus of this video to be like, oh, I didn't like Lex Luthor, or like disagreeing with me that it's the biggest or not the biggest problem. I really wanted just to be talking about Batman killing, because I made another video on it and I read the comments. I really enjoyed doing that, so I wanted to kind of extend the discussion for it, because when I saw it the second time, it bugged me even worse. Because and again, it's not like in Man of Steel where Superman had to kill to save the entire human race. literally Batman kills people for ease, okay? Like, he blows up cars he doesn't have to. He could easily just take them off the road non-lethally, pit them out, spin them out, and, non-lethally like he always does. But for whatever reason, Snyder took this road. It's very weird. I don't know why. Everybody, when I was leaving the theater, had the same reaction with one another. Why does Batman kill in this movie? So, really, when he talks, he deflects any comments of, we thought Batman didn't kill. Well, I'm a real comics fan. He even says that in his interview. He says, well, I'm a big fan of the comics, and one of the books I pull from is The Dark Knight Returns. So basically, he shields any concerns about how he's, they're not interpreting our character, is like, well, you're not a true fan of the comics like I am. I am. It's just, you're 50 years old, I'm 18, I come from a different era than you. All of us come from an era where Batman doesn't kill. You come from an era where he still didn't kill, but some of your favorite books, clearly he did, like The Dark Knight Returns, and thereby that's his explanation. I'm a comics fan. You're not. I don't know. Zack Snyder, he annoyed me with that statement. That entire interview pissed me off really bad. But anyway, he's a great director, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Hope you guys, I am going to say about it because I just made an entire video on it. Okay. Okay. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below about Batman killing. I encourage you to go back and watch the movie a second time with that in mind, because when it first happened, I was in shock more so than anything else, and everybody in the theater was just like, did we just have that happen? And again, the nightmare sequences make no sense. How can you have the nightmare sequences when Batman is... So the nightmare sequences are meant to contrast the fact that Batman, in a disdained future, that he's going to kill people with the AK-47 or whatever gun he's using, but he uses that same exact weapon in the warehouse scene. So you can't contrast the fact that he kills in the nightmare scene and like, oh, we wouldn't want that to happen, but then he kills in the real movie. So, like, why doesn't he just use a gun? That's my question. The character is built from the ground up. Batarangs, Batclaw, non-lethality. But in the movie, like, he kills people. He has no problem coming in. Just before the warehouse scene, he blows up 4 guys. So why doesn't he just carry an AK-47 instead of a Batclaw? Why does he not carry a Semtex grenade instead of a Batarang? It makes no sense. Logically, the character, again, is built from the ground up to be non-lethal. So when you contrast that, everything is working against you. The character is created in a way that he does not kill, and then you make him kill. It makes no sense. Why is he fighting hand-to-hand with people he has no problem killing? What he should have done is he should have just came through the window with the Batwing, blown up all the windows on the 3rd floor, and just shot everybody. Because he has no problem killing, so really, the only reason that he fights hand-to-hand is for cool points, and that was the best fighting scene we've ever seen of any Batman ever. So I'm glad they did it. I'm just saying it doesn't make any sense because Batman kills people. He has no problem blowing people up. So he should have just done it. He should have just killed everybody in the warehouse scene. So why is he using Batarangs? It doesn't make any sense. Just use a Semtex grenade. You're a killer, Batman. You're a killer. You kill people. So just use an AK-47, use a Semtex grenade, put away the Batarangs because that's non-lethal. That makes no sense because you have no problem killing. Okay, I could go on for hours and hours, as you can tell. Hope you guys have enjoyed. There's obvious issues, I believe, with the nightmare sequences and his moral code in the movie. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. My name's Slcmof, and we'll see you in the next one.